Okay, so this is a bearings question. So you need to know which sort of angle bisectors and stuff like that you can use with bearings. Sorry, not bearings, loci. And on the Jones to Sum site, certainly in the higher tier topics, but possibly I've moved them into the intermediate as well. There was a whole chunk of work on there on loci. So let's take a look at what information that we're given here. So magazine article states each year 1/3 of the world's whale population migrates around the northwest coast of Scotland. A minke whale is sighted by a number of people in the sea area near North Minch. In attempting to locate the minke whale, the following details are known. The distance from the Muir of Ord to Dingwall is 10 miles. So on your map, there is the Muir of Ord, there is Dingwall. And you may wonder what on earth that's got to do with locating the minke whale when it's pretty far inland. And then the whale is equidistant from Stornoway and Ullapool, so it's of equal distance between those two towns, within 30 miles of Portree and further than 10 miles offshore. Use the map on the opposite page to indicate possible locations of the sighting of the minke whale. Now the fact that two of those pieces of information relate to actual distances, somehow we need to work out what the scale of that map is, and that's what this first piece of information is telling us. So the distance from the Muir of Ord to Dingwall is 10 miles. Now if we use a ruler to measure what that actually is on the map, we can see that it is 1 centimetre. So the scale of this map is 1 centimetre on the map is 10 miles on in real life. So if we just write that down, that'll help us work out the position of this whale. So the first loci construction that we have to do here is equidistant from Stornoway and Ullapool, and that's a loci where you're looking for equidistant between 2 points, because Stornoway is a point and Ullapool is a point. So this is equidistant between 2 points, and that construction is a perpendicular bisector. Which is a line that cuts that distance exactly in half and runs at right angles to it. So you're going to be constructing a line that's going to run in that sort of direction. So the construction you need to learn for that is you get your compass, and your compass you need to open up so it's visibly over halfway between the 2 points. It doesn't have to be exact, it just needs to be visibly over halfway. So for me, that is visibly over halfway. So you can construct then, what you do is you draw an arc of a circle from Stornoway, then you don't change the size of your compass, and you move the point to Ullapool and draw a second arc, and where those two arcs cross will give you a line which is equidistant from the two. So that's telling us that the whale lies somewhere on that line. Is anywhere on that line. We just choose a point at random there, say for example that distance is 3 centimetres, which is 30 miles, and it's going to be the same from there to there. So that's how that line works. So we've done that. Within 30 miles of Portree, well, what we do here is the loci is exactly 30 miles, which would then be a circle. So for that one, we draw a circle, radius 30 miles. And we know that 10 miles is a centimetre, so that's 3 centimetres. So we need to get our compass, create a radius of 3 centimetres, and the centre of that is at Portree, which is here on the Isle of Skye. So we put the compass point there, and we draw the circle like that. Now, if the whale is within 30 miles, that circle is the boundary for equal 30 miles. Outside that would be beyond, inside that is within. So the whale is within that circle. And then for it to be further than 10 miles offshore, we know that it's on this line. So starting from there, 10 miles offshore means it is beyond 1 centimetre from that shoreline. So if 1 centimetre from that shoreline starts there, then what we're interested in is beyond that distance and within the radius of the circle. So the actual range that the whale could be in is this green section here. On that green line, we are equidistant from Stornoway and Ullapool. We are within 30 miles of Portree, and we are further than 10 miles offshore. So the only place that whale can be is on that green line. So that indicates the possible locations. Complete the following sentence to give the range of possible bearings of the Minke Whale from Stornoway. So to work out a bearing, you measure the bearing clockwise from north, and because it's from Stornoway, that means we're standing there at Stornoway. So if we measure north up the page, so if we put our north on Stornoway, and then to work out the range of bearings, well, one extreme is that range, and then the other extreme would be if it's closest to land, which is this range. So these are the two bearings that we need to measure. So I just find my angle measurer. So as I said, the bearings are measured clockwise from north. So you take your angle measurer, you put the centre of the angle measurer on Stornoway, because that's where we're measuring from, and we line the 0 up with north, and then we come around. The outside scale is going up 10, 20, 30. So to the first point, I need to extend those so that they read off my scale. That's better. So the first one is 150, and the second one takes you to 160. So the bearing of the Minke Whale from Stornoway is between 150 degrees and 160 degrees. Now if we take a look at the mark scheme, so I can show you where those marks are awarded. Question 8. Perpendicular bisector, Stornoway and Ullapool. So you get your first mark for this construction, perpendicular bisector. Use of the correct scale, 1 centimetre is 10 miles. So there's one mark for working with the correct scale. The arc from Portree 30 miles shown as approximately 3 times the distance of Muir to Dingwell. So again, making sure that that radius from Portree is 3 times that, so 30 miles. So one mark for that circle. 1 mark for the 10 miles distance offshore, so 1 mark for recognizing that it's beyond that point there, and 1 mark for then your range of possible sightings, and 2 marks for the 2 bearings. So as I mentioned at the start, that's a combination of loci and bearings. Both of those topics are covered on the website, if not in the intermediate tier, because that's still catching up. Certainly in the higher tier they will be worked there on bearings and loci. So hopefully that's been helpful.